What's up, guys? We're back with a full slate of NBA action here on Tuesday, March 25th. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight. We're going to take a look at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure you're checking that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. Yesterday, guys, we still have games going on. Unfortunately, the Timberwolves could not get anything going there despite Anthony Edwards playing. They end up taking a pretty convincing 119-103 loss against an Indiana Pacers team that's suddenly looking quite a bit better. We still have the Sacramento Kings going. We still have the Phoenix Suns going. So we've got a chance to still have a profitable night. Let's hope we can make that happen. Slam that like button. If we can get this video to 1,000 likes, we're giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random commenter. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. Once we get to 50,000 subscribers, we're around 200 subscribers away. We're giving away another free hoodie. If you're a huge fan of what we're doing here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members get exclusive early access to all my videos and get their names up on screen in every video, but more importantly, you'll get access to our monthly members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member in early April. If we get to 80 channel members, we'll give away 2 hoodies in April. We've got around 61 members right now at time of recording, so let's get that number up there. All of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily college basketball, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. And Major League Baseball, our most profitable sport the last 3 years running, is right around the corner starting on Thursday. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll have access to our exclusive free picks, free to use bet size calculators, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not always match what you see here in the video. Also, guys, you need to get over there and sign up for our free email newsletter, which will get you free picks straight to your inbox every day and updates on our results. Just make sure to check your spam folder. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today or any other feedback you have for me, and I will personally respond. As always, our favorite bets will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Orlando Magic going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Magic have to be feeling pretty good about themselves coming into the second half of a back-to-back here with a win over the Lakers under their belts. They got a 12-point win. They took the Lakers down 118-106. Very good stuff there from the Magic. We saw, the two scores that the Magic have, Banchero and Wagner, combined for 62 points, so that's kind of what you need to do if you're going to get a win there for the Magic. Both those guys have to score the vast majority of the points, and it really wasn't even that vast of a majority, not what we're normally used to seeing, because really, guys, this team struggles offensively, but when your best players are playing great, you're getting some contributions from the bench, like Anthony Black putting up 17 points, not something you can count on a nightly basis. They also shot 37.5% from three-point range, making 15 of 43s. Also not something you can count on from this team on a nightly basis. They were about even on the boards. They didn't do a great job of holding LeBron and Luka in check, but they did enough to get the job done. The Lakers bench looking terrible in that game. The Magic bench actually playing pretty well, so they'll definitely take it. Banchero and Wagner looked borderline unstoppable, but they played very, very heavy minutes. I know those guys are young, so maybe we shouldn't be reading too much into that, but Paolo playing 40 minutes, Franz Wagner playing 38 minutes. I don't know how sustainable that is coming down the stretch here this season, so we'll see. Obviously, Orlando, they need to be winning these games. They are not in, a great situation out there in the East. They've got to make the best of a bad situation. They're in the 8th seed. They would love to move up to the 7th seed, but there's no way they're catching the Pistons for that 6th seed. So if they're going to be in the play-in, they need to be in the best, most advantageous version of the play-in that they're going to be stuck with. So we'll see what they can do here on the road, playing on a back-to-back on the road. Not the easiest thing to do. The Hornets come into this game only 18-53 on the season. They're tanking it out pretty hard. Just got absolutely destroyed by the Miami Heat, a team that's been pretty terrible lately, but they lost that game 122-105, following up a nearly 40-point loss against the Thunder. The Hornets not really holding on to the rope right now. That's a kind of nice way to say it. They gave up 42 points to Andrew Wiggins. That's not really supposed to be happening anymore, guys. I'm going to be real honest with you. We saw LaMelo Ball, a pretty mediocre day from him. 18 points, 6 of 19 from the field, 2 of 10 from 3. The Hornets are just not a good team, guys. They're designed to be tanking right now. They did have a rebounding edge against the Heat, so congratulations on that, but they didn't do a good job shooting the ball. They didn't play very solid offense. We kind of just saw guys getting a few numbers, and that was really it. Seth Curry went 2 of 2 from 3, put up 10 points. Woo, cool. We're not going to freak out about that, guys. The Hornets, not very good right now. And looking at their injury report coming into this game, it appears they are going to play everyone. So that's something to think about. They are going to be running everybody out there. Now, is that going to translate into winning? No real reason to, be convinced that's going to happen. This is a very, very bad team. The Magic, they're going to have Cole Anthony probably still out for this game. We don't know for sure. He didn't play there on Monday against the Lakers, so we don't have an updated report on him yet, but I would say the chances are he probably doesn't play in this game, but it's not guaranteed. Looking at the numbers, we see the Hornets getting 4.5 points. We've got a total here of 211.5. Orlando 16-20 against the spread on the road, 5-6 against the spread, or 6-5 against the spread on no rest. Charlotte 19-16-1 against the spread at home, 25-27 against the spread after a loss. The Hornets are tanking, guys. The Orlando Magic are trying to win. In the season series, we've seen Orlando, be pretty freaking good, winning all 3 games. A blowout, an 11-point win, and another blowout. I think we see them take care of business here, even if they don't play everyone. I know playing on the road on back-to-back nights is a little bit tough, but I like what we're seeing here from Orlando. I think they get the job done in Charlotte. Next up, guys, we got the San Antonio Spurs going on the road to take on the Detroit Pistons. The Spurs have now reeled off 3 wins in a row. They've won 4 out of their last 5 games, and the optimism levels for San Antonio fans have to be pretty high. Assuming that Wemby can come back from this whole blood clot situation and be fine, the future looks very, very bright. There are 3 full games out of the 10 seed, so I don't think the future looks that bright for this season, but they're making some stuff happen. I mean, a blowout win over the aggressively tanking Raptors for sure, but we saw guys like Devin Vassell continues to play really well. We saw Champagne play really well off the bench. This team, guys, putting up some solid numbers and playing really well, and they've got some exciting young pieces on the roster. They won this game convincingly despite shooting only 32% from 3. I don't know they're going to do that much better from long range, generally speaking, and definitely I don't expect that to happen in this game, but they're putting together some solid efforts. They're being allowed to try to win right now. They're not being aggressively sabotaged by their front office or coaching staff or however all these other teams are deciding to try and tank here. The Spurs, they're letting their guys try and win some games, and win some games they are, especially against terrible opponents. So they're not taking on a terrible opponent here, so they don't have that going for them. Their depth chart, their injury report looking pretty solid. We do see Castle could end up out for this game. Right now he's questionable, dealing with a right knee hyperextension, so I'd be pretty surprised, borderline shocked to see him end up playing in this game. But other than that, the Spurs do come into this one healthy, going on the road to take on these Pistons, who are fresh off of a bounce back win. They got a pretty competitive 136-130 win there against the Pelicans. They are 40-32 on the season. They are currently in that 6th seed out in the East. They're only 1 game back of the Bucks, now 2.5 games back of the Pacers. So it looks like them and the Bucks probably going to be battling it out there for the 5-6 matchup. That seed, but right now we're liking a lot of what we've seen from the Pistons. I mean, obviously playing a close game against the Pelicans doesn't really get me going, but they played pretty well. They played well. They took care of business. They survived some big performances. They shot the lights out, shooting almost 50% from 3. Not something you expect to see from them on a nightly basis. Cade did not even play in this game, and they still managed to get the win. Malik Beasley not looking amazing there, inserted in the starting lineup, but Jalen Duren played great. We liked what we saw from Tobias Harris, and not a great shooting night, obviously, but the bench came up, pretty big, shot the ball really well. Marcus Sasser, 3 of 4 from 3 for him. Lindy Waters, the third, knocking in a 3 in his 7 minutes. So definitely some good things to report there from the Pistons. They had a 43-point fourth quarter. You don't see that all the time. So good stuff there from Detroit. They come into this game in terms of their health. We do see Cade and Tim Hardaway Jr. both still on the injury report. Cade is questionable for this game due to that calf injury, and Tim Hardaway Jr. is questionable dealing with an ankle. So we don't know for sure if they're going to play, but looking at the spread here, I do think we're leaning towards them probably playing in this game. The Pistons are 9-point favorites. We've got a total of 235. The Spurs 14-20 against spread on the road, 11-19 against spread after a win. So not a very good team against spread after a win. The Pistons 16-18-1 against spread at home, 18-19-2 against the spread after a win. But Cade, if he does come back, is going to be fresh for this game. If we do see the full strength Pistons here, I do like them to win this game by double digits. The Spurs are in a letdown spot. It's about time they have a bad game after, playing against some really bad teams. That's not the case here. They're also having to play on the road, which is not their forte. So go ahead and give me the Pistons here at -9, but it can't go in the pin comment until we find out about Cade and Tim Hardaway Jr. Next up, guys, we have the biggest game on the night with the Golden State Warriors going on the road to take on the Miami Heat. The Warriors come into this game 41-30 on the season, fresh off that loss at the Hawks. That probably doesn't feel great, losing that one by 9 points at Atlanta. We saw Jimmy Butler put up 25 points. He was fairly efficient with it too, but not a lot of help out there for him, really. I mean, we saw Draymond Green shoot 4 threes, only make 1 of them. Jimmy Butler shot 7 threes, only made 1 of them. That's not really going to work. I mean, sure, Quentin Post shot the ball well. Moses Moody, Pajemski, they all shot the ball well, but the bench came up very, very small. Kuminga really struggling to get back into his groove. He did put up 16 points, but was a -18 out there. We saw a -13 there from Gui Santos. That's not a good sign. And the Warriors losing despite shooting 42% from 3 is also not a very good sign. So not a great day for the Warriors, not a great look for Warriors fans. They got out rebounded pretty heavily in that game and didn't have any answers really for Okongwu, Trae Young. Like nobody really having too hard of a time there for the Atlanta Hawks. We even saw Niang put up 23 points and be a +7 off the bench. Like, that's pretty crazy. So the Warriors certainly in a bounce back spot. And the good news for Warriors fans is there's actually a chance that Steph Curry comes back and plays in this game. He flew out to Miami to meet up with the team. He's going to be listed as questionable for this game, but I don't think he's flying out there just to have fun, guys. He tried to come back into the game in which he got hurt. I don't think he's hurt that bad. If he's got a sore tailbone, he's got a sore tailbone. I pretty much fully expect him to play in this game. And that's going to give the Warriors a nice boost. When they've got Steph, they got Jimmy out there. This is a team that can definitely win some games. So feeling pretty good about this spot for the Warriors as they go on the road here to take on the Miami Heat, who are fresh off a win, but it was against the Charlotte Hornets. So let's not freak out too much, guys. They needed that win to snap a long losing streak. They're still only 30-41 on the season. They're in the 10 seed out there in the East. They better be really happy that teams like Toronto and Brooklyn are tanking things out and that the 76ers had everyone injured all season long, or the Miami Heat would not even be making the play-in this season. Pretty disappointed to see a team like them fall so aggressively. They got the win thanks in large part there to Andrew Wiggins putting up 42 against the Hornets, but really, guys, not the kind of performances that you can count on from this Heat team, especially against any sort of real team. I mean, 29 points from Hero. He's been slumping a little bit lately, so he has a big game, but I don't know. I don't really expect Davion Mitchell to put up 12 and be a +17 off the bench here against the Warriors. A very solid, very deep team. We also got weird rumors swirling about Jaime Jaquez Jr., and he only played 6 minutes in that game. Like, I don't want to get all conspiracy theory on you guys, but maybe Spoelstra not too happy with him at the moment. So we'll see what goes on. The injury report for the Heat is looking pretty good. Only Duncan Robinson on there. He's questionable with lower back pain, which has been kind of an ongoing issue for him. He did play, but only 19 minutes there against the Hornets. So we'll see if he suits up for this one. He doesn't move the needle for me too much either way, though. Looking at the numbers here, the Heat are getting 5 points at home. We've got a total of 217.5. The Warriors 18-15-1 against the spread on the road, but they are 18-10-1 against the spread coming off a loss. Miami 18-17 against spread at home, 11-18 against the spread after a win. Guys, I'm definitely taking the Warriors here to get the win and cover. I think they probably win this game by close to double digits. Jimmy Butler's going to be in full revenge mode. I don't think we're going to see him play poorly. I think we're going to see Steph come back and play in this game, and we're going to jump on this one early under the assumption that that's going to happen, so that way we get the better number, because if it gets confirmed that he is going to play, this line's going to move a bit. I would not be shocked to see it getting closer to like 8. So we'll see what actually happens there. That may all be conjecture. None of that may happen, but I do expect Steph to play in this game, and I do expect the Warriors to win by more than 5. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Dallas Mavericks going on the road to take on the New York Knicks. The Mavs have now won 2 in a row. They played a good game there against the Nets, winning that one 120-101 last night. So well played there by Dallas, taking care of business. Najee Marshall playing pretty good there off the bench, and 2 back-to-back good games for him. He actually led the team in scoring 9 of 15 from the field. Very solid stuff. We saw 4 starters scoring double digits. That's kind of what they're going to have to do here for the Mavs, even to beat these bad teams, to get here, to get through this season, and I guess get Anthony Davis back and try and do something in the playoffs or the play-in. But I don't know, guys. No Kyrie makes things look a little bit rough for this team. They shot 32% from 3. We saw another bad day out there from Clay. Really looking like the Warriors dodged a bullet by not giving him that big extension. Although if he was in Golden State, maybe he'd still be playing better. It's a little bit hard to know, but 10 of 31 from long range as a team is not usually going to get the job done. The bench looked pretty good, but not against a very good team, and mostly thanks to Najee Marshall. But Brandon Williams also played well. Max Christie played well also, and yeah, they did a good job. They had a rebounding edge, so on and so forth. But the Nets are tanking. The Mavs are still trying to win games. They come into this one in terms of their health. It's still kind of up in the air. We don't know for sure, just because we have guys sitting out or like waiting out games. We did actually see Anthony Davis play there against the Nets, which was a little boost. He only played 27 minutes, but good stuff there for him. 12 points, and yeah, he did what he's supposed to do and didn't get hurt, which is pretty pivotal there. We'll see what he does if he even plays here on back-to-back days. That seems like it's a bit up in the air to me, at least based on this spread that we're looking at. The Knicks come into this game 44-26 on the season. They got a nice blowout win there against the Wizards, a much-needed win, and the Knicks need to be winning games, guys. I mean, they're holding on to that 3 seed. They're only 2.5 games up on the Pacers, who are playing really well right now. So you don't want to mess around too much if you're the Knicks and give that spot away. Also, we didn't mention this, but the Mavs need to be winning games too. They're trying to hold off the Phoenix Suns in that battle to see who gets the 10 seed, or they could theoretically even catch the Kings there for the 9 seed. So we'll see what happens. The Knicks, they've been missing Jalen Brunson, no doubt about that. It's been a problem while he's been gone, but they're finding a way to piece it together. Some wins in most of the games they're supposed to win, but that 17-point loss at the Hornets doesn't look great. Neither is that 15-point loss there at the San Antonio Spurs. So it's looking like the Knicks maybe not as scary of a playoff team as some people were saying. We've seen Jalen Brunson missing time. Miles McBride is on the injury report as well. Brunson, guys, he's making progress in his recovery, but yeah, he's not going to be back for at least another week. Miles McBride, his groin issue has already been ruled out for this game. So it's going to be like, Cam Payne's going to get a lot of minutes. We're going to see Landry Shamet minutes. Bridges, Hart, Anunoby, and Cat are going to have to play really, really well. Mitchell Robinson still dealing with, lingering problems. He's questionable with his ongoing ankle stuff. So, yeah, not super stoked with what we're seeing from the Knicks right now. They are 7.5-point favorites at home. We got a total of 224.5. Dallas, 15, 18, and 2 against the spread on the road. 8 and 3 against the spread on no rest. The Knicks, 16, 17, and 1 against the spread at home. 14 and 12 against the spread after a win. I'm going to be leaning a little bit here towards the Mavs getting 7.5, but I need to see that Anthony Davis is going to play. That makes a big, big difference. I need to see that everybody else is going to play because without a full, pretty much a full squad at least, we're going to be a little bit worried, even going up against the Knicks without Jalen Brunson. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Atlanta Hawks going on the road to take on the Houston Rockets. The Hawks come into this game 35 and 36 on the season. They've been playing well here down the stretch. Honestly, they're in the 7th seed. They've won 7 out of their last 10 games. They are still, 4.5 games back of the Pistons for the 6th seed. So I don't think they're going to be catching them, but I think there's a very good chance we see Atlanta end up here in the 7th seed. And nobody below them in the standings in the East is really going to have a great time playing them in that play-in game. They got a convincing 132-119 win against the 76ers. Obviously not a game they were taking super seriously, but we saw Trae Young put up 28 points, 22 there from Ricochet. That feels good. The Hawks continue their hot shooting 45, almost 46% from three-point range. They had a rebounding edge in this game. The bench played well, 20 points off the pine there from Niang. Only 7 off the bench, kind of an off shooting day there for Karis LeVert. But overall, they've got to be pretty happy with the way these trades have worked out. Pretty happy with how things are going. Dyson Daniels had 5 steals in the win. 5 steals, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 points, and was still a +10 despite a very bad shooting night. So you love to see him do well, and the Hawks in general, you love to see him play well. I mean, they come into this one in terms of the injury report. Trae Young is on there, but other than that, everybody looks healthy, and Trae Young is probable for this game due to that, ongoing Achilles management. I suppose that's what it's being listed as, but he's, probable every night, and he always ends up playing. So we're not worried about that here as they go on the road to take on these Houston Rockets, who are 46 and 26 on the year, fresh off a 116-111 loss there against the Nuggets. They had been on a lengthy winning streak, but when you looked at that winning streak, guys, not so impressive in hindsight. They were beating a bunch of really bad teams, like taking down the Heat, the 76ers, the shorthanded Mavs, the Suns. I'm not going to freak out too much about those wins. In that loss against the Nuggets, Jamal Murray, they had no answer, guys. He put up 39 points on them. Amen Thompson wasn't really able to do much with him. Dylan Brooks put up 21 points, 30 points from Jalen Green, but none of that was enough despite the bench looking okay. I mean, Steven Adams put up 14 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 blocks, and none of that was enough, even though he's a +9 coming off the bench. So they're going to have to play a little bit better here. This is a team that everybody's supposed to be scared of in the playoffs. They're not looking that scary to me. Fred VanVleet, something's wrong still, bro. 2 of 12 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3, 7 points, and a -2. That's not going to work. It's not going to get the job done. I don't know if he's too short or what's going on, but that is not going to get the job done here. And looking at the injury report, at least that's clean. That's one positive for them here, but we have been concerned about what we've seen from the Houston Rockets here down the stretch. No doubt about it. It is concerning. They're just not playing well, especially Fred VanVleet. A lot falls on the shoulders of Amen Thompson when he plays poorly, or when or Jalen Green. They need VanVleet to be a solid point guard. And if that's not going to happen, big problems. Big problems are coming, and big changes are going to need to be made in the offseason. So we'll see what happens. The odds makers have plenty of faith here in the Rockets. They are 8.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 234.5. Atlanta 18 and 16 against spread on the road, and 18 and 16 against spread after a win. Houston 19 and 18 against spread at home, 15 and 10 against spread after a loss. But I don't know if I really buy it with the Rockets here, guys. Maybe this is a bounce back spot for them, but I feel like Dylan Brooks, not really the answer here. Is all of a sudden Fred VanVleet going to play better? Amen Thompson could have a bounce back game, don't get me wrong. And this squad does have plenty of good pieces, but I don't think they've got enough here, guys. Give me the Hawks getting 8.5 points in this one. I think we see a very, very close game down the stretch. Rolling right along, guys, we're looking at the Memphis Grizzlies going on the road to take on the Utah Jazz. The Grizzlies come into this game fresh off of a 3rd straight loss and getting some very bad injury news. We see Brandon Clark out for the season due to that knee injury. So that's not great. That's not great. Losing some of their depth there, that's a problem. The Grizzlies are 43 and 28 on the season. So right now they're sitting in the 5 seed. They've been falling down the standings. They are, 2.5 games back of the Rockets for the 2 seed. And They're tied with the Lakers in the race for the 4 seed, and they're only 2 games up on the Warriors. Like, this is not looking good right now. Memphis really having a hard time against good teams. Their last time out, they lost by 20 points against the Clippers. Game before that, they lost against the Trailblazers. Game before that, they lost by 10 against the Kings. Like, their last win was against the Heat. They're beating the bad teams. They are not beating the good teams. And that's kind of the way things have been all year long. At the Clippers, in their last game, Jaren Jackson Jr. only 9 of 24 from the field for 23 points, and he led the team. We saw the Grizzlies lose this game convincingly despite shooting 40% from 3. You're not going to do much better than that. Keeping things even on the boards, you're not going to do much better than that. Ja Morant continuing to not play basketball is a problem here, guys. And he wasn't playing that great when he was there. Bane putting up a minus 26. Santi Aldama putting up a minus 22. Like, this is not a team that is playing good basketball right now. So we have lots of reason to be concerned about the Grizzlies. Looking at their injury report, obviously we already talked about Brandon Clark. That's not great, but Ja Morant listed as out once again, still dealing with that now hamstring issue that it's being reported as. So maybe they're just bubble wrapping him for the postseason, but I don't know. It's not looking good down the stretch, but they are taking on another bad team, so maybe they're about to turn it around. They're taking on the Utah Jazz, who are only 16-56 on the year. They continue to tank things out, fresh off of a nearly 30-point loss there to the Cavaliers. This is not a team that's trying. They're trying to lose so hard that they're getting fined occasionally for how hard they're trying to lose. So we'll see who's actually available. Obviously, they didn't put up any sort of fight there against the Cavaliers. Filipowski led the way with 18 points. They're not playing anybody, guys. They're doing their best to lose games, and it is working. Colin Sexton only letting him play 26 minutes, and he's not playing great coming off of injury anyway. Looking at their injury report, we expect it to be relatively crowded, and it's not that bad, but we see Markkanen on there. He's probably not going to play. And Jordan Clarkson, guys, he's listed as questionable. You know what that means for the Jazz? That means out. So, looking at the numbers, we see the Jazz getting 10 points here at home. We've got a total of 240.5. Memphis actually 18-16-1 against the spread on the road. 16-11 against spread after a loss, a number that used to be a hell of a lot better. The Jazz 18-19 against spread at home, 26-29 against spread after a loss. I'm going to go ahead and take the Grizzlies here at minus 10. It's probably not going in the pin comment. I just don't trust them enough. I kind of hate them at this point. Like, figure your stuff out, Grizzlies. Like, this is annoying, but I do think they handily beat the Jazz here, a team that's actively trying to lose games. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers going on the road to take on the Portland Trail Blazers. The Cavaliers come into this game 57-14 on the year, fresh off a much-needed win there against the Utah Jazz. They had dropped 4 in a row, but Cleveland, not a team that has to care at all here at the end of the year. They've got a 5-game cushion there over the Boston Celtics for the 1 seed. I don't think they're too worried about trying to get the overall best record in the league. The Thunder are a couple games up on them there, and I just don't think Cleveland cares about that. I think they care about health at this point in the season, but blowing out the Jazz, nothing too special. Very light work for this team. They can do that at will pretty much. We actually saw Jarrett Allen lead the team in scoring, putting up 18 points, but all the starters were in the plus 20, plus 30 kind of range. Everyone played really well and then got out of there and let the bench really take over this game and get their numbers, put up their numbers, and Cleveland won that game handily despite shooting only 23% from 3. So they're in, honestly, a little bit of a bounce back spot in terms of long range shooting. So we'll see who they run out there for this one. It appears Donovan Mitchell will be out for this game, but other than that, the team should be healthy. Donovan Mitchell won't play, apparently left groin injury management. So other than that, they are going to run everybody out there. How many minutes they're going to run everybody out there for, that's a little bit up for debate. I think they're going to try and win this game with as little effort and as little injury risk as they can possibly expose themselves to as they go on the road here to take on these Portland Trail Blazers, who are 32-40 on the year. They're fresh off a 129-116 loss there against the Celtics. They're starting to get a little bit of respect from the odds makers, but they're still 3 full games back there of the Dallas Mavericks for the 10 seed and 2.5 games back of the Suns. So they've got a lot of work to do if they want to sneak into that play-in, but weirder things have happened. Can't think of any right now, but weirder things have happened. That loss snapped a 4-game winning streak, so we've generally liked what we've seen from this Trailblazers team down the stretch. If they were still fully healthy, like, who knows what they would have done. They could be an over 500 team. I don't think that would be too wild at all. In their loss to the Celtics, we saw Sharp put up a very efficient game. That's a good look for him. Obviously, he continues to be better than expected this season, that's for sure. Anthony Simons, not his best game, but some good efforts out there nonetheless, guys. We saw Matisse Thybulle, of all players, guys. He put up 12 points off the bench. That is a monster offensive night for Thybulle. As a team, Portland shot 40%. Not that great of shooting from the free throw line. The rebounding numbers looked very, very good, though. And there's a reason for optimism here for the Portland Trail Blazers. They come into this game pretty healthy. It does appear Jeremy Grant probably going to be sitting this one out. He's doubtful for this game due to right knee tendonitis. The Blazers are tanking a little bit, but not as egregiously as these other teams. They're getting 6.5 points in this spot. We've got a total of 231. Cleveland, 23-13 against spread on the road. It's an NBA best mark against spread playing away from home. Portland, though, 22-15 against spread at home this year, 20-19 against spread after a loss. I'm leaning towards the Trailblazers in the points. Without Donovan Mitchell, these Cavaliers tend to play some very, very close, very, very competitive games. I think this could be one of them. Also, Cleveland doesn't have to care about winning these games. Like, they just aren't incentivized properly to be winning games at this point. So I think Portland in the points here, very, very live. You could also, interest me in over 231. I think we'll see plenty of offense with both teams. Not really playing the best defense, and plenty of shots going in. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder going on the road to take on the Sacramento Kings. The Thunder come into this game 59-12 on the season. They're currently riding a 6-game winning streak. They just took down the Clippers by 2 points. A very solid performance there. They've got to be feeling pretty good about the way this season's gone. SGA, not a great shooting night. Only 7 of 29 from the field, but made all 11 of his free throws. So I guess they'll take that. We were on the Clippers plus 2.5 in that one, so we'll take the win, and we'll take the cover, not the win and cover, but we'll take the cover there for sure. Loved what we saw from SGA, except for his jump shot was a little bit inefficient. Caruso took a bunch of shots, scored 14 points. 19 off the bench from Aaron Wiggins, who continues to absolutely cook. That dude is auditioning for a much bigger role on either the Thunder or someone's team next season. Jalen Williams playing well off the bench also. No Chet Holmgren in this game. We'll see if he's coming back here, but overall, a very nice night there for the Thunder, who didn't even have their full squad. They were going up against the full-strength Clippers, who seemed pretty locked in, and, still managed to come away with the win. The Thunder are just that good, guys. They're just that good, and they come into this one looking a little bit healthier. There's a possibility that Chet Holmgren plays in this game. He's still dealing there with that left hip strain, but he is questionable instead of doubtful, so we'll see if he plays. Jalen Williams, he is probably going to be out for this game. Well, he's technically questionable as well, so we could see him out there. It is definitely a possibility. Other than that, they're ready to go, though. SGA, Carson Wallace, Dort going to play. We see Hartenstein going to play. I don't have any problem with more Hartenstein minutes. That's not going to bother me one bit. And Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe continue to cook there coming off the bench. So liking what we're seeing in this spot for the Thunder. They're taking on the Sacramento Kings team that is currently down 10 points there in the third quarter against the Boston Celtics. So we'll see what kind of effort they can dig up. I'm a little bit worried about the Kings right now, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. They're only 3-7 over their last 10. They're in danger of falling out of the play-in. They could be the team that falls below the Mavs. The Mavs brought back Anthony Davis. Didn't really know if they were going to do that or not. Anthony Davis is back. They're going to be a tougher team to beat, and the Kings not looking that tough to beat right now. If they lose this game to the Celtics, which looks very, very likely, you could see the Phoenix Suns leapfrog the Mavs and the Kings and push one of those two teams, possibly even the Kings, out of there. And it's not like the Trailblazers are playing awful right now either. So I'm worried about the Kings. We don't know what their injury report's going to look like necessarily here for the second night of a back-to-back. I do think there's a good chance that we see maybe Malik Monk come back and play in the second half of the back-to-back. I mean, he's dealing with an illness, didn't play there against the Celtics, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, dealing with an illness is not a great spot, especially not this time of year. They're going to need him to come back, and I think he's pretty likely to actually, come back and get back out there. So, looking at the numbers, the odds makers don't love the Kings here. They're getting 9.5 points at home. We've got a total of 230. The Thunder, 21-12-2 against spread on the road, 36-19-3 against spread after a win. The Kings, 12-20-3 against spread at home, 3-11 against the spread on no rest. Guys, I'm taking the Thunder here to win this game by double digits. Even if they don't play everybody, as long as we see SGA and either Chet or Hartenstein going out there, everything else will take care of itself, and I think we see them get a comfortable win and cover here against the Sacramento Kings. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. Click the link down there in the description. Go over to stumpthespread.com. Check out everything we offer over there, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.